Hi, good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you today?
Excellent, excellent.
Maybe I shouldn't assume it's morning. Where are you coming out of?
Yeah, no, it's actually, yeah, it is morning. It's 10:30 in Toronto.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, always hear good things about Toronto.
Where are you located?
I'm in Kansas City.
Oh, wow. I've never been, unfortunately.
Yeah, home of Charlie Parker. Yeah, it's a great place.
Yeah.
It's always surprising to people that, Kansas City is such an arts and cultural hub like it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it has an amazing history of music, right?
Yeah,
So, come on, you
yeah.
know.
But we do get lumped into that whole Midwest cowtown kind of thing. So
Right.
we live a dual polarity kind of thing going on. Um, but at any rate, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out for Neon Jazz today.
Hi, nice to meet you, and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. So before we get into your latest album, I want to know the last 3 years with COVID was quite a thing. How did you survive that time period and how did it change you?
You know what? I actually, when during the pandemic, I was actually part of. I started working with a tango group, an all-female tango group. So I don't only have my project, but I joined a tango group, and so we spent the majority of the time working on the style of music, and also I know it was a very hard time for a lot of people, but I just spent the time working on my music. So it affected me because I wasn't able to perform as much. I mean, it was all, done online, which is not the same as being in front of an audience. But I think that, I just took it, I said, you know what, there's nothing I can do other than this is what it is, right? So I started working with that project. So we did a whole bunch of online videos that we recorded separately, and then we put them together. That was with the tango band. And then during that time, I got my grant from Canada Council to be able to record this new album. So I spent the time doing research and just, trying to do the best, do the most and the best out of the situation, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of musicians did the same thing. Either you get depressed or you just go out there and you do what you can. I like, you know maybe I'm being selfish, but I think I like how quiet the city was, and I like the fact that it allowed me some me time to be able to work on my music. So I think you do the best with the situation, right?
Well, things move so fast for artists and musicians. There's always such movement. So I think there was probably a level of embracing that went on when everybody was like, all right, I don't have to run around like crazy all the time. I can just lean back and just kind of be introspective. I think it was probably good for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. I started taking a lot of after my first album. I realized that my voice was changing. You go through different stages in your life, and so I thought it would be a good idea to go back and take lessons with a vocal coach. So I made the best out of the whole situation. So I was taking lessons online, just doing some yeah, just a lot of the studying, a lot of nerding around. So
Yeah. So let's talk about Tamborilero and let's talk about how good does it feel to have an album out now with the world waking up and just kind of in general.
you know what? It's an interesting thing because my first album was very introspective. It had a lot of songs that I wrote a long time ago. They were kind of on, I don't know how to say, but they're a little bit darker. And during the pandemic, I made a huge change in my life. I made a huge positive change in my life. So that's what I wanted to reflect in this album. It's a happier album. And I thought, you know what, this is what the world needs right now. It needs something a little bit, in what I needed as well, right? Like something a little more positive and and I don't know, the world is not negative or positive. It's just a mix of both of them. You know what I mean? Like I always say to people, be careful what you watch on the news because good news never make the news,
Right.
right?
True.
you know, it's usually bad news. It's all about being bad.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, you know what? Hey, that's not a very balanced view of the world or people. I mean, the more you travel, the more you realize that you have more commonalities with people than things that make you different. And in my travels, I realized also that people want the same thing. They want to have their families. They want to live a peaceful life, and they're more sharing and loving than we actually think. The bad apples usually make the news.
That's right. If it bleeds, it leads. And you're right. We are all more alike than we aren't. And I think that's some level, hopefully, with all of the interviews and podcasting that's out there, hopefully that levels the playing field a little bit more. I think we're starting to see a lot of really good things coming out of the human connectedness because we lost a lot of that. I know we had Zoom like we do now and all of those things, but I think at the end of the day, we really miss that idea of community and that whole old school way of just being together.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think that if we want to talk about what caused people to have depression and everything during that period of time, I mean, it's not only during that period of time, but I think it's that lack of connectedness
Yeah.
that we all believe that exists. But the reality is that, I mean, I don't want to get philosophical. I think it's an illusion. This whole disconnectedness is an illusion. We're all connected. If we look at it from that perspective, we also understand that whatever we do to other people affects us and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, we are interconnected. It's not that that whole division doesn't exist. Even if we have different philosophical views or even religions or whatever, political views, whatever the heck might be, I think in the core we are all connected. So whatever you do, whatever I do affects all of us, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good reminder of that. And also, I mean, really and truthfully, I mean, you have to look at like, the pandemic and everything. You have to look at it from a different perspective. I mean, come on. It's not like we are it's not like oh, you had to stay home and watch Netflix. Whoa, what the hell,
Right. Right.
Bad, bad,
Uh-huh.
bad, bad.
Yeah.
It's not like we're in countries where you couldn't go outside to even walk your dog. So I have family in Argentina and Buenos Aires, and they were not able to. They were not allowed to get out of the house. Kind
Yeah.
of like. And here we know we can go for walks. Yeah. Oh, you had to wear a mask. Whoa.
Yeah. Right.
Freaking deal.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I agree. So with
Yeah.
the new album, what are you hoping the listener gets from it?
Well, the new album is very, very, out there and very plain to see homage to the music from Uruguay, and specifically the Afro-Uruguayan music. We have it's an interesting country. It has a very. I'm from Uruguay, first and foremost, and it has a very interesting history because the music of Africa has greatly influenced our music. I mean, it has everywhere in the world, but I'm just saying Uruguay really embraces that, and um, this I thought I should bring that to the forefront in this album. Just showing the music from Uruguay, the Afro-Uruguayan music, candombe, and mix it with all the stuff because it has been mixed with a lot of different styles of music. And there's some amazing, musical examples of that type of music. And I invite anybody, if you ever want to see something completely unique, maybe that's something. I'm encouraging people, and I'm just showing a little bit of Uruguayan culture. If you want to see something completely unique, go to Uruguay, to Montevideo in February, mid-February, and you will see a carnival like nothing else. Like it's a street carnival. You will see the comparsas, which is a homage of musicians playing the three different drums. That comprise candombe, and it's on the streets. It's not like in Rio that you have to go to the Sambódromo, like specific places. Maybe perhaps in some places northern Brazil, you can see it on the streets as well. But Uruguay is that type of music is very unique. So I wanted to bring that and share that to the people that wanted to listen to the music, right?
So let's go to your roots in Uruguay. Tell me how you started this musical journey and how it kind of culminated and led you to Toronto.
So I started. I'm just gonna make a very because it's a very long story. I'm not that young. So I started with classical music. I was part of the national choir. Then I studied opera for a little bit, and then I got into rock. and that was it. I was 16 when I started my own band, and by the age of 19, 20, I was touring in the States. Actually, I played in South by Southwest with this alternative rock band, and then I moved to Canada and went to music school in Canada as well. And it's incredible, but I think that you do like a 360, you go back to where you're from. You know? So I studied jazz and world music and all that. And then I said, you know what? I mean, the Uruguayan music, well, South American music in general, it's so rich in culture and rhythm and everything. So I just went full circle. I went back to my roots, and my previous album had a little bit more of a Brazilian vibe, and I love Brazilian music. It's beautiful. Brazilian jazz, it's a huge influence on so many different styles of music. And then I said, you know what? I want to do an album of candombe, and I want to see how is that I can handle that, meaning like as a composer as well, because some of the songs are composed by me, and it just, yeah, it just goes back to the same thing that you started from, you know.
Sure. I hear
Um,
that a lot. I hear that a lot that as much as you try and you kind of rotate through this cycle, you always come back home.
yeah. The same with tango. I mean, I never ever thought I was going to be singing tango. And because I thought, that's music, of my grandparents, which is not true. I mean,
Right.
the tango nowadays, I mean, if you listen to the composers, the new composers, tango composers from Argentina, like Julian Peralta, Ramiro Gallo, I mean, no, it's not your grandpa's tango. It's a heck of a lot more modern. So I think it's the same thing. You go back and you realize, oh, you know, the richness of the music, and yeah, and especially candombe, because I always one of the things that I love about South American music in general is the rhythm, and candombe is a very specific type of rhythm, and this album uh, was my idea in this album, and that's what I presented for the the Canada Council, sorry, is that my idea was to uh, do exchange with musicians from Uruguay. So the musicians from Canada will learn how to play candombe. So I put that in a proposal, and they accepted that. So I went to Uruguay, and I spoke with some Uruguayan musicians, Federico Orrighi, Martin Ibarburu, some other musicians as well, and say, hey, you know what? Are you interested in teaching my musicians in Canada how to do candombe? They said, yes, absolutely. So I did it, I put them in contact, and some of them didn't even speak English or Spanish to each other. It was a very interesting communication.
Hmm.
um, and that's how they learned. And the album, I have shown it to musicians in Uruguay, and they say this is incredible. It's almost like they were born and raised here, right? And I just, and they're all from different parts of the world. The bass player in the album is of Jamaican descent. Um, and then the three percussionists that play the drums are from Canada, but his parents are from Uruguay. Don't ask. It's like,
No.
the drummer is from Canada, from Winnipeg, actually, and so is the pianist. How is it this guys, learn the style of music is incredible.
Yeah.
And no, and a producer from Canada as well, uh,
Yeah.
that really investigated the style of music, and yeah, I'm super happy with the album. I think it's
So, what was the first live show that you ever saw that blew you away that made you think that that might be something you want to do with your life?
oh my God, no, I knew I wanted to be a singer, what, from the time I could say mama dada,
Yeah.
I think that I've seen a lot of concerts that have blown me away throughout the years. I've been lucky enough to see some of Piazzolla's, not Piazzolla himself, unfortunately, but I've seen some of his projects, and I've seen a lot of I have to say, when I was four, no, when I was 13, I was living in Buenos Aires. That was after the dictatorship, and I think what made it very clear to me that I wanted to be a leader of a band and start writing my own music. I think it was seeing the huge musical movement after the dictatorship in Argentina, and I remember it was just every single weekend there would be 10, 15 bands, all original music. That's the other thing that blew me away. So I don't know. I can't say a specific, something specific. I think all my life I knew I was going to be a singer. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So let me ask you this. What do you
Mhm.
like the best about being a professional musician? What is it that you look forward to every day? What drives you?
you know, the connection that you have with the musicians that you play with. I always made it very clear that I didn't want to just do it for money. Meaning like money, if you're joining a band just because it's a good project that you're going to be making money and you don't take all the other things into consideration, then it's going to fail. So I think it's the connection with the other musicians on stage. um, Being able to create something, it's wonderful. What do I like about being a professional musician? The fact that I can, it's a very creative thing to do. So you have you not only the connection but also the creativity. Is it scary? Of course it's scary. I always say, you're really, every time you put music out there, you open yourself up to a lot of criticism and whatever. But I always have this idea. I always say there's those who do and those who criticize.
That's right. That's true.
um, and also, I mean, in the fact that I I'm not looking for perfection. Is a snippet of who I am right now. Like my first album, I thought it was amazing, and then I listened to the second album. It's like holy, But it's a snippet of what you can do at this point in my life. What I can do as a composer, as a writer, um, as a singer. It's a snippet, And so then I'm gentle with myself. Do I think it's perfect? No, it will never be perfect because I'm human and that doesn't exist. Um, so what I know is that I wake up every morning and I go, my goodness, am I lucky or what to be doing
Yeah.
what I love? So that's the number one thing that drives me.
So, for the purposes of the show, we're jazz centric, but you've been in a lot of different musics. So I'm going to kind of open this up. Why do you love music?
Oh my God. I think music is the most amazing way of manipulating emotions.
Mm, yeah, that
Um,
great way to saying it.
you know what? And the reason why I love jazz is because in rock you have, I'm sorry, Radiohead will kill me when I say this, but I think that what I love about jazz is the possibilities. I love, um, let's say, you have a palette of three, four, five colors when you're doing a certain style of music. And then jazz comes along and it goes, holy crap, man, this is 30, 40, 50 different palettes and so many, different colors in your palette, in so many different emotions that you can achieve with those chord progressions and melodic lines and everything. That's what I love about jazz and about music is that I think that you can really, if you do it for the right reasons and if you really are an artist, then you will convey a wide range of emotions. Emotions that is what makes us human. You know, when I listen to Piazzolla, to me, for example, Piazzolla is somebody who was a great manipulator of emotions. He could really, really take you back to Buenos Aires. You listen to Piazzolla, and you're like, do this to me. It's just, yeah, it takes you through a roller coaster of emotions. And I think jazz is the same thing. I think when the music is done with that, it's supposed to convey some sort of emotion, and take you out of your comfort zone in some ways, and also show you the humanity that we all have. So I think that's what I love about music. I know it's very philosophical, isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, 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 that's great. No, I like it. And for Radiohead, It's interesting because I've played them on my show before, and there's jazz-centric things. It's almost as though their aesthetic is just kind of all over the place. They're really
Yeah,
dabbing in a lot of things.
yeah. Well,
S
my first, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead. You're good.
No, no, I agree 100%. I was just saying in a rock band, but I mean, those
Yeah,
guys
no,
are
I know.
beyond.
Yeah, you just said Radiohead, and it just got my brain going because I'm a big fan. But
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Radiohead. Matter of fact, in my first album, I did a rendition of one of the songs by Radiohead,
which one?
Lotus Flower.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Yeah, and because I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of different styles of music. I don't stay only in world music. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, no, I mean, jazz, bring it on. Folk music, bring it on.
yeah,
Whatever music I listen to that it has that is honest. I don't care. Country music.
yeah.
I love music. I always say there's two types of music, bad and good.
That's
That's it.
right. Hmm.
And that is completely subjective,
Yeah,
right? What I consider to be bad to me is an element of truthfulness.
yeah,
It's the same as singers. I mean, I think of I listen to a lot of singers and I go, oh, the technique is fabulous, blah blah blah. But give me some, Neil Young, please.
yeah,
That guy just kills me.
yeah,
He's not about showing off.
yeah,
To me, that you learn technique in singing not to show off. You learn technique so you can convey an emotion. If your idea is to show off, then I'm sorry, you just
yeah,
got stuck in you're a technician of the instrument. You're not an artist.
yeah.
An artist should be conveying an emotion, should be moving a person. If you're learning because you want to show off, I'm sorry that and this is my opinion, huh? Like
Sure.
just my opinion. To me, that you missed the point. You missed the point of being a musician.
So let's get to the essence of you. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, fans, but you ultimately run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Ah, crap. That's a huge question.
That's the wake up call right there. That's the
Um,
therapy question.
you know what? Who do I think I am? I'm a seeker. I think I'm a seeker. I'm always seeking. I'm always looking. I'm always looking. I'm not satisfied with like what I know now. It will change tomorrow. I'm not. I don't want to stay in a comfort zone. I want to be challenged. I'm a seeker of challenges. I think that you change perspectives. If you get stuck, like the older and older I get, the more I realize there's no such a thing as black and white. And I think a lot of people as they get older, that's where they get stuck, is the black and white. And then the more I go through life, the more I realize there is no such thing as black and white. Everything is just tinted with grays and
Yeah,
colors and all that. Even certain concepts that I thought were really integral. And um, yeah, what is important to me, my friends, my family, 100%, and that connection with other people, that is essential to me. I think that's, and the other thing is I don't, yeah, just seeker of that and not caring too much about the passing of time.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? I think that's something that people get stuck in as well.
yeah,
It's like, the passing of time, thinking that, oh, at this time in your life, you should have this figured out. And,
yeah. It's a
is
journey,
that the journey? Exactly. I think I will figure it out when I'm dead. And even then, I don't know. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
right. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
So I'm too busy just looking around and learning to be
Yeah,
thinking about the passage of time. I'm
yeah,
enjoying the journey as a human, here in this plane right now.
yeah, absolutely. I agree. So for everyone out there wants to learn about any live shows that are coming up, where to get the new album, anything about your world, where can they go?
You know what? I would say go to my Instagram, so at Valeria Matzner, into my Instagram, because I think that's what I keep most of my information. Really bad at that kind of stuff.
It's all good.
I also have valeriamatzner.com.
Oh, hi, puppy. Hey.
Yeah, and so if you go to valeriamatzner.com, actually I'm revamping my website right now with a new album and everything. But I think Instagram is more where I put all my whole bunch of stuff there, reels and music and everything. I combine it with the tango band. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's called Solidaridad. It's an all-female tango band, the only all-female tango orchestra in North America. It's
Excellent.
fabulous to be around women. Love it.
Excellent. This has been wonderful. Valeria, thank you so much for taking time out to give me your story, to talk about the new album. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Joe, and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. And before you